Hola, señoras y señores. I'm just out here out and about, and I just went out and watched Raya and the Last Dragon, directed by Don Hall of Big Hero 6, Paul Briggs, co-director, and John Rupa, frequent animators at Walt Disney Animation Studios, Dean Wellens, an uncredited director, and also Carlos Lopez Estrada, known for directing the 2018 masterpiece Blindspotting with David Diggs and Rafael Casal. In this film, Raya and the Last Dragon has nothing to do with that. It's just a nice mention because that movie is honestly very fantastic, and I recommend everybody go out and watch it. And this film is very, very good. In many ways, I could just end the review there, but there's a lot more to say, I think. It goes with no surprise that the animation in this movie is absolutely spectacular. The lighting, the textures, especially the cinematography and the action sequences. They're so vibrant and frequent, they move around, it's not all shaky, it's not distracting to where you can't see the action. You can see it, you can digest it, and you have a lot of fun with the action sequences. Those are pretty fun, and so are the side characters. I honestly like the side characters more than I expected to. Each of them have their own different identities and quirks that make them fun and unique and more distinct than the last. As well as the character designs. For the most part, the character designs are very good in accompanying to what I said about the side characters. And also a great shout out goes to James Newton Howard on the score of this film. The score to this film is honestly maybe tied with my favorite aspect of the movie. It's so great, it adds a lot to it. A lot of it is one could say it's all over the place, but the way it's used in the movie is very vibrant, expressive, engaging, exciting. It adds a lot of different instruments and orchestrals that work very well and boost up certain scenes and make you feel the emotion that it's intended. The score is really amazing, and it's really great how they got James Newton Howard back. And some accommodations go to the voice acting. A lot of the voice actors do a pretty fantastic job, especially Kelly Marie Tran and the side characters. They're all fun and distinct. But I feel like a lot of more of my issues go more towards the actual story and characters to this film. The story to this film is very predictable. It feels very by the book, goes from beat one to the next beat to the next beat, with no real charm or like magic that makes it seem more surprising. Something I also kind of forgot to mention was that I kind of like the world building, but a lot of it just feels like exposition dumps, mainly because they just kind of keep explaining the whole MacGuffin thing, and they just kind of keep re-explaining the Division, the Last Dragon. Seriously, the beginning of this movie kind of explains the whole backstory to this world and the Division, which is nice and catches you up. But then literally like 3 minutes later after this scene, we get an explanation again of what we were just told. So it's effectively useless when we're going to be told that in the next scene. That on top of the already bland and really forgettable story of getting the 5 MacGuffins, putting them together so we can save the world. It's just very bland, and it doesn't feel like there's any stakes that makes the viewer care about what's going to happen. And maybe this would be okay if the main person, the Last Dragon, Shizu, wasn't very annoying nor degrading or just kind of awful to watch. I do not dislike Awkwafina. I think she's pretty funny. But this is just like a horrible miscast. Nothing she says is funny. I don't really feel any sort of emotional attachment nor like resonance or anything with the character, just because it's so detached and how she plays her character and like the methods. It's just it doesn't work at all. Plus the humor, the modern day-esque humor of like group projects and credit and all this really unfunny stuff. It just, while it isn't in it a whole lot, it's just like whenever it's there, it's really distracting and bothering and brings down what was an interesting setup as soon as we meet her within the first like 30 or 20 minutes. And that's something else about the humor. This film isn't very funny. I would say out of all of the jokes in the movie, I smiled at a couple and kind of like snickered at maybe like 3 attempts, but that was about it. The jokes the timing and delivery of everything just doesn't work very well, and I was just left more so like than like ha ha ha. But anyway, sorry to be so negative on this movie. I do like more things than I dislike. I think it's an okay animated movie, and it's definitely the best animated film to come out of the studio since 2016 with Moana. I don't know if I recommend you pay $30 for this film. I kind of want to say no, but in a way it's the better animated rated movie you can show children these days. Better than like Croods 2 or Trolls 2 in my opinion. But yeah, watch it however way you want, make up your own mind. You might like it more than I did, and who knows, maybe I'll like this movie more on a second viewing whenever that happens. And yeah, Raya and the Last Dragon is gonna get a really amazing, terrific, beautiful 6 out of 10. Adios.